him find his lost sister, but as the player soon discovers, his sister was actually murdered and dumped in a lake by the village. Due to the fact that she's a skeleton with no flesh, one can only presume that she'd been dead a long time. There's a lot of speculation about how she died, but many think that Nafi accidentally killed his sister and then went mad because of it, convincing himself that she'd simply got lost. I get that maybe death would be a sweet release for him at this point, but it's sad that to add to his misfortune, the Dark Brotherhood are willing to kill him. Sure, Nafi doesn't have the highest quality of life, but he's no harm to anyone, so it's clear to see that the Dragonborn shouldn't join the Brotherhood if they have any semblance of morality. Killing mentalist beggars and newlyweds is unquestionably evil, but then again, if you're an evil Dragonborn, then I'd say feel free to join up. The moral arguments against joining don't apply to you. To get into the practical reasons why you shouldn't join the Dark Brotherhood, let's firstly deal with one of the quest line's ending rewards. If you defeat the Penitus Oculatus, kill the Emperor, and become the Listener, then you'll be rewarded with your own Dark Brotherhood Sanctuary in Dawnstar. However, whilst this might seem cool, it's probably one of the most useless sanctuaries ever. Let's face it, no one really likes or wants to stay in the city of Dawnstar. There's nothing that interesting there. Although players might make fun of houses such as Breezehome, which is a small property in Whiterun, the location of Breezehome is so much better than the Dawnstar Sanctuary. You have access to a much more lively and interesting city, and you're in the centre of the province. So if you're looking for a place to base yourself in the game, then somewhere with a better location than Dawnstar might be your best bet. It'd be kind of similar to making Fort Dawnguard your base. Yes, aesthetically it's pretty cool, but if you're someone who doesn't like to fast travel, then it's got an absolutely atrocious location. Something else to take into account is that the Dark Brotherhood Sanctuary in Dawnstar doesn't really offer anything that's usefully unique. Apart from a torture chamber full of victims, which can be fun to play around with, there's nothing special about the sanctuary. You can get an alchemy table, an anvil, and all the other practicalities of a base at any other location. So if you're not bothered about aesthetics, then the Dawnstar Sanctuary doesn't actually have too much unique to offer. You'll probably be familiar with a video I did describing why Astrid, the leader of the Dark Brotherhood, is an idiot. I won't repeat my in-depth arguments from that video here, but I will give you a quick idea of how she's an idiot by rounding up the salient points from that video. Astrid is probably one of the worst leaders in Dark Brotherhood history because she cares about her own power more than anything else. Even though the new Listener in the form of the Dragonborn offers the opportunity for the Dark Brotherhood to return to its tried and tested old ways, Astrid wanted to preserve her own power so much she concocted a plot with the Penitus Oculatus to kill the last Dragonborn. And it's not just this, it's that she was stupid enough to make a pact with an organisation headed by a man who's sworn to destroy the Dark Brotherhood. She is entirely responsible for the deaths of her colleagues and friends by not expecting the Oculatus to betray her, as they obviously did. Anyway, a clear reason for you not to join the Dark Brotherhood is because you'd be implicitly condoning the stupid leadership of Astrid, although of course you do eventually replace her as the leader and Listener of the Dark Brotherhood if you decide to follow through with the quest line. To be fair though, the alternative to not joining the Dark Brotherhood is extremely poor. If you decide, when you first meet Astrid, to murder her in the shack and set free the captives, then if you report to Commander Maro of the Penitus Oculatus, you'll get the quest to destroy the Dark Brotherhood. Commander Maro will tell you the location of the hideout and pay you a sum of 3,000 septims to kill all those within. 3,000 septims seems like a really measly sum for doing so much work, so from a material perspective, you're far better off joining the Brotherhood than destroying it. The coin you'll earn from the quests, the armour you'll be given, and of course Shadowmere amount to much more than 3,000 septims. All in all, I'd have to say that the Dark Brotherhood situation in Skyrim is kind of bland and poor. The Dark Brotherhood itself isn't really that interesting, especially when you compare it to Oblivion. The quest line just isn't as interesting, and there are far less twists and turns. And this in part, I guess, comes from the fact that the Dark Brotherhood in Oblivion is at its full extent, so to an extent it's always going to be more interesting because of that. But nonetheless, I would say there's definitely been a downgrade in how interesting the Dark Brotherhood is between Oblivion and Skyrim, and as I've said before, the alternative to not joining the Dark Brotherhood is extremely poor, and I believe Bethesda could have spent more time fleshing out that route than they did. Thank you for watching this video. If you want to see more Elder Scrolls lore and speculation compilation videos, then feel free to subscribe. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank my patrons, they really help me out. Anyway, thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.
Stick to the BEAT, get ready to ignite. You were such a BYT, catching all the lights. Just easy as ABC, that's how we make it right. The DANCE, stick to the BEAT, just easy as ABC. The way you move is a mystery.
dress a drove